to the All Out Attack podcast, they were making our team of 2020. So the best 11 from the calendar year 2020. So should we start off with manager or keeper?
Let's start with the team.
I'd say start with the keeper. Leave the manager to last because I know you've got wide opinions on that.
Okay, so for me, I'll start. I'm going to go for Manuel Neuer. No one else for me can take the role of keeper, especially not for 2020. I thought he had a great year, won treble. Was one of Bayern's best players as always. Made some crucial saves, including in like the big games like Champions League final, German Cup final. He had a bang game. Was brilliant all season in my opinion.
Sounds good to me. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yep. Yeah. Exact same.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll go on. Yeah.
Is everyone in agreement with Neuer?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Cool. I thought someone was going to say Oblak because he's had a solid year as well.
Yeah, Oblak. I haven't seen Oblak in a while.
He has had a very good year, but not as good of a year as Neuer has.
Yeah. I'm backing that. So, should we move on to left back or right back first?
Go right back.
Left. Oh well, pick Kieran. You go first, mate, and we'll go from that.
Right back for me. Even though he could be a bit more solid defensively, for me it's Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah. There's no one else really, is there? Like I don't know.
I went for Danny Carvajal though, because I think he's more solid defensively than Trent.
I agree with that. He probably is better defensively. I just think the role of the right back has changed a lot. You don't have to just be a good defender. You've also got to be competent going forward.
Yeah.
Again, I just think Trent is.
It depends what formation you're playing at the end of the day. And Liverpool's formation suits a player like Alexander-Arnold, whereas Real Madrid probably suits a player like Carvajal more. So it depends what team they're in.
I feel like the system that Liverpool suit Trent Alexander-Arnold's ability more, and therefore probably if you're going on like best right back, he was probably one of Liverpool's best players. So you've got to sort of hand to him that he did all that from right back.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that.
True. Yeah.
I think. So are we all Trent, or has anyone got anything?
Yeah, Trent.
I would say
Aiden went Carvajal.
Aiden's still got back. I was surprised he's not thrown one of these shitty West Ham players in.
Yeah, he's not
Aaron Cresswell's coming. Don't worry, guys.
Nah. So yeah, that's Carl.
You're saving Cresswell for left back, innit?
No, do you know what he said? You know what he's saving for? He's saving Antonio, the striker.
Oh yeah.
He's like, Antonio over
Lewandowski. The CDM,
So check.
It'll be give him 3 years. It'll be in there.
Souček is solid. I'm not gonna lie, but he's too good for West Ham.
Yeah, he'll go soon.
Say that. Debatable.
Aiden, if you give him 3 years and he's at Madrid, then he might be in it. But if he's still at West Ham, he's got no chance.
West Ham winning the Champions League.
You never know. Anyway, centre half. So you lot got a centre half.
They'll do a Fulham league run.
Yeah.
So for centre backs,
I'm thinking to go Sergio Ramos, and Van Dijk.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm in agreement with that.
Like before his injury, he was the best defender in the world. And I'd say Sergio Ramos, like he's sort of single-handedly been saving Real Madrid in a few games. I feel like the penalties he scores are crucial. The tackles he makes in a game is sort of like unheard of. Like he's so consistent, and like Real Madrid look a lot better team with him.
I agree.
Plus, totally agree.
What's he got? Has he got 5, 6 Champions Leagues as well?
Yeah, he's a legend. He'll go down in history as one of the best centre backs.
In terms of decorated players, he's one of the most decorated players still around.
Not even that. It's more the goals he scores as well. The amount of goals he scored from as a centre back is stupid.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
He's a leader, isn't he?
He's your typical shithouse Spanish like centre half. He's the epitome of what the La Liga is about. He's that kind of player.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is, the part of him that I also like is I know he always gets red cards, but he will happily go and take one for the team. If a player's through on goal, he doesn't mind getting suspended.
I don't mind players like that.
I literally about to say the same. It's like even though they're different positions, he's sort of got like the same mentality as like Roy Keane.
Yeah.
He puts the team first, and if he has to take a player out to help the team, he'd do it.
Mate, he'll happily do that.
His heart's at Madrid, and I don't know. That's why it's kind of weird to hear that he might be leaving.
I don't think he'll leave.
No, that's a very interesting thing. He's a free agent at the end of the season, and they've not bothered talking about his contracts or anything yet.
I think he'll sign one at the end. I don't know. I just can't see him leaving Madrid. Like he just seems like it just seems like it's a part of him. Like, you know, that he, like what Messi's obviously wanted to leave Barca, but like, even Ramos at the same time, like he's just like he's a Madrid legend. He's a leader there. He's really well respected there. He's gained all that over the years, and I don't see him leaving.
I agree, but I think he might retire. Like, he could. I know he shouldn't retire, but he could retire because if Real Madrid don't offer him a new contract, I can't. Like,
I can't see him going anywhere else
unless he goes to like the MLS
back to Sevilla. I know they can't probably afford him, but like I feel like that's the only other team that he loved. I feel like it's so long, but he still talks about now like the days at Sevilla and how like Sevilla helped him to become who he is today. So I could see him going back there maybe if like he was to take a pay cut, but apart from that, I can't really seeing him leave Real Madrid.
The thing is, the thing about Sevilla is I can't, like, if he went to Sevilla, he'd have to then go to the Bernabeu and play against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't see him doing that. I can't see him ever being at the Bernabeu playing for a different team.
Random punt. Could he go to Inter Miami?
I mean, he could if he wanted to.
Because I feel like, you know, they're the sort of team that they'll end up signing most of the retiring legends. I think they will anyway.
I don't think.
Also, come as well from Madrid, and like, so I feel like that could be a connection as well.
Yeah, true. Maybe they would have known each other.
There is Real Madrid links there, so yeah, I could see Ramos going there.
I could maybe see that. To be fair, now that you say that, I could see him going to the MLS and like into Miami, maybe the most likely. But let's speak about Van Dijk first. So he's injured. He's been injured for most of it. But the reason why we put him in, I think, is because when he was fit, for me, he was one of the best centre backs in the world, one of the top 5 players in the world before he got injured.
I wouldn't even say one of the best. I'd say he was the best.
No, I said the best centre back, but one of the best players.
Okay. Oh yeah. He's the best centre back. I think it's undisputed, really. Like, I mean, I guess I'm not sure what you guys have to say, but I think he's the best.
Yeah, definitely. Just look how much the Liverpool team struggles defensively without him now.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. To be fair, like I don't know, they've filled the hole, but like the thing is, it's been really hard. They've had to try out so many different combinations and whatnot. And obviously, they've got some of so they've got like Fabinho, Matip. There's some other players as well. So I think Robertson was out for a bit. He's back. So they've kind of got a little bit of their defence back, but they don't look the same at the back without.
But I think like Alisson is obviously like a quality keeper, and I think like against United, you saw like usually there's areas where Van Dijk would be clearing his lines. Alisson's sort of been keeping them in some of these games as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think Alisson has been potentially even better this season than he was last season because he's had more to do.
Yeah.
But last season he was still one of the best keepers in the world. He just didn't get the chance to show it as much because Liverpool was so dominant in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So are we ready to move on to our left back then? So we agreed on the
not Luke Shaw, but go on.
So for me, the left back, this might cause some controversy because I can see another player who someone else is going to say probably, but I'm personally going to go Alphonso Davies, Bayern Munich. I think similar to Neuer, won the treble, and I think like this year was his breakout year, and he was genuinely for me one of the better players in that Bayern Munich team, and that's saying something. Like he can defend, he can go forward, he can do anything, and I think he can do anything very competently as well.
I'm gonna say Luke Shaw. No, I'm joking. No, obviously Alphonso Davies. Who else?
I just want to mention Robertson. I just want to mention Robertson has had a fantastic year, and you can't take anything away from him. He got something like the 3rd most assists in the league last season from left back, which like that's actually insane. But like for me, I think you have to watch the full game to realise just how much of an impact Alphonso Davies has on this Bayern team. I think he's exactly what they needed. Because obviously Alaba was always as a left back, but he wasn't. I don't know. He was insane, but he's like kind of moved on. I don't think he'd be as good as in the left back role as Davies is now because he's like 30, and just he's better suited to the centre back role.
He's not quick enough for left back anymore. Alphonso Davies. Right, he'll be able to go up, put a ball in, then get back to defend.
Yeah.
Whereas Alaba now would say he's like more suited to the centre back role because of how like pace is depreciated.
Yeah, I agree because I just think Alphonso Davies is so good in everything he tries to do. I'm a real big. I don't know if you can tell by now, but I'm a real big Alphonso Davies fan.
No, I would agree with you in many aspects of that. He's world class. He's simply world class.
World class.
He's world class player.
I think that he's the sort of player that Munich needed to come in because of how young he is as well. The energy he's brought with him.
Yeah.
How young he is, well, his desire to win things early on in his career.
Yeah. Don't
It's
forget
the player they needed to get.
You've got to bring age into consideration to see how young he is and what he's achieving at Bayern Munich at this point in his career as well. You know, he's still got a long way to go, and the fact he's performing this well, you know, he has to be up there.
Yeah,
I think he is the best in my opinion. But also, obviously, honourable mentions: Andrew Robertson, who's had a great year. Hernandez, another great fullback. He does sometimes play as centre back though, but
maybe Digne as well.
Yeah,
Digne's solid.
He's
Not
solid.
as a team of the year contender though, I don't think.
No,
he's
as
not
I
contender, but
mentioned,
he's
Maybe
fit
Premier
for-
League, might be one of the best in the Premier League, but not in like the world.
Yeah.
So
No, because obviously Everton aren't in Europe. So if Everton were in Europe, he might be on the world stage a bit more. He might be in the limelight a bit more.
Yeah.
I agree. I think when you watch Everton play though, I mean obviously it's a discussion for a different day, but I mean when he's like Davis in the fact that he can get forward, make an impact going forward, and then get back and defend very well. Like he's
got a good shot on him as well.
Yeah, he's got a rocket on him, mate. And a brilliant cross as well. And like
against us, he just smashed the bar, and I was like watching. I was like, shit, like the way he's like the power in his shot, like it's insane.
Yeah.
How good you are as a fullback is a lot determined on like your positioning, because if you're good going forward but you can't get back, therefore you're not a good fullback because you can't defend as well as you can attack.
Do you know? As soon as you said though, that reminds me of
who?
Tellers.
Yeah, I mean against Sheffield United, he proved that.
Unbelievable going forward, but when he defends, he looks confused. Like
how many times did he get caught out of position against Sheffield United?
Mate, the thing is, with
happy.
Tellers, I think it's because he's come from the Portuguese league where he could go forward and join the attack without, in all respects of Portuguese league, without much threat of being exposed. The Premier League's completely different. Like you're playing against the likes of Mo Salah, like he's marking the likes of Mo Salah, Lucas Moura. Like there's so many good right wingers in the league.
One thing I'll give to Tellez is that he's actually very good. He's quite good in the air, like especially with heading the ball away and stuff. He usually gets those like headed balls out of the box and stuff. So I'll give him that. But overall, like, and he's got a pretty good long shot.
He's shooting, crossing. He's great going forward, but it's just defensive positioning. Like when he's marking players at a corner and stuff like that, he's nowhere near him. He just
he's kind of amateur at points.
It doesn't look like he's ready to be starting. He should be further up the pitch.
I'm surprised none of you opted for a wing back as well.
Yeah, I was kind of tempted because I think Alphonso Davies would be good in a back five, and like there is 3 centre backs I could have easily had in there. But the thing is, I just thought, you know what, I think having a 4 at the back is better because of how many attacking options.
Yeah, I agree.
But speaking of which, CDM what sort of formation? Because I'm playing like kind of like a CDM and then 2 centres.
Oh, well, I went with standard 4-3-3.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go. My first one in the midfield, so sort of like the more defensive one, is Kimmich.
Same.
Everyone got Kimmich.
No, I went for depth and right. I'm joking. I went for Kimmich.
I already know what Kieran's about to say. He's going to be like, in my opinion, he's the best defensive midfielder there is in the world.
And he's the best defensive midfielder.
And I agree with that as well.
For me, the best by a decent amount at the moment, like by quite a bit. And also, I think when he plays right back, he's the best right back in the world. As well.
I was gonna say, such a competent fullback as well as being a competent centre mid as well.
I can't see any right backs here, or that's why I think like this is very controversial to say, but right now, if I could have any player in my team, I would consider saying Kimmich for that, because I just think, I know that's very controversial. Clip that if you want.
Oh, 100.
Right, like
No,
honestly,
Kimmich is the one.
he's
I
so
think it goes back. I mean, like if you look at Kimmich, he's sort of like the new coming of Lahm in this Bayern midfield. He can play right back, he can play left back, he can play anywhere in the midfield.
Yeah.
I feel like it goes without a doubt that he's probably one of the players that any team in the world he'd start for any team in the world.
Oh yeah,
100%.
I
We
know
need him. Like his positioning as like a CDM, even like in the right back position, because and Wan-Bissaka has been a bit inconsistent this season, but like we don't really have CDM. Like Fred's really good, but he's more of a box to box. McTominay's not great, but he's good when he plays in that box to box position. Our only CDM is Matic, and although he's still got quality in him, he's kind of gotten older. He doesn't really suit, like, sometimes when we try to hit on the counter and like go up, he's a bit too slow on the ball nowadays. And Kimmich could fit perfectly, but it's the long shot. It's not like he's ever going to come.
The thing is, he wouldn't, because why would you leave Bayern Munich right now?
Bayern have that loyalty.
The other thing is, United have no CDMs that are anywhere near this list, so they're kind of irrelevant in this conversation.
We've got some other midfielders in the list. So.
Yeah, they might. So, I mean, I think, are we all happy with Kimmich as the CDM? For me, there's no one who really competed, but I guess the next best for me, I would maybe go for Kroos or Fabinho.
Fabinho.
Well, not Fabinho. Yeah, sorry, not.
Fabinho. Not Kroos anymore, I don't think.
I think this year.
I put Kroos in my team, but I feel like I've put him in my team purely on just him being slightly Kroos.
I think he's definitely under. When people say about the best players of like the 2010s, I think obviously I'm not calling him the best player of the 2010s, but I think he's underrated in terms of how much of an impact he had on both Bayern Munich and Real Madrid.
And Germany as well, I'd say.
Yeah, and Germany.
I was half tempted to put Busquets in, I'm not going to lie.
Busquets is insane, underappreciated.
I was half tempted to put him in
Busquets is one of the best CDMs of the modern generation.
Definitely,
He held Barcelona together when they were winning the Champions Leagues. When he had Xavi and Iniesta putting balls in through to Messi, the likes of Messi and Eto'o, Ronaldinho, like Busquets is sort of like, he's got to be one of the best Barcelona players of all time in defensive roles.
He's the most underappreciated player of all time, I think.
Because he's shit on FIFA, so everyone thinks like he's bad in real life.
Exactly. That's what I hate.
He's got 40 pace on FIFA, so therefore the kids don't quite sympathise with him as much as they should.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very wild shout, but just because the team you play for don't do well in Europe, but who should be up there as one of the best defensive fielders, Ndidi.
Yeah.
He
was going to be a rogue shout for me. I was half tempted with him, but then I thought exactly what you said. The fact Leicester aren't in the Champions League, which they probably will be next season, but I don't know. He's in terms of a European team of the year. Does he really cut it in terms of like
for me,
when
he
you've
doesn't,
got
Harley, I rate the fact that you brought him up because I think he is one of the most solid defensively out of all the CDMs, and he can go forward as well. So I think definitely in the Premier's up there with the best CDMs for sure.
Who are we going for next then in the midfield?
So for me, I'll go with my two because they're kind of both the same position. I think people know who it's going to be already.
Yeah, I think it's the same as mine.
KDB and Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, exactly. Same as mine.
Not the same as mine.
So I'm going to
Thiago shout as well. Thiago should be there or there. But
controversially, I was refusing to put Fernandes in there. I put De Bruyne and I had two CDMs in my formation.
I didn't put De Bruyne in mine.
Aiden, do you want to leave?
Fair enough.
You haven't put De Bruyne in there, Callum.
No, I put on obviously Bruno Fernandes, and I also put Leon Goretzka.
Okay.
Goretzka is a very, very good shout.
Yeah.
But
fair enough.
KDB instead of Bruno, maybe, but KDB is.
But if Bruno joined United in January, that's he's done everything.
I feel like KDB is one of them that like he's like a name that's first on this team of the year, but if you look at statistically in assists and goals, Bruno Fernandes has scored more and got more assists in the year. But I feel like De Bruyne creates more chances, and I feel like he's one of the best players. He's the best player in the Premier League. So should team should.
It's like if someone said to you, like, you're playing a game of like football, and like, you could choose whoever you wanted, and you wanted the best like midfield in the world. I think a lot of people would go for De Bruyne, and even though he hasn't had the best season, he probably still is the best midfielder because he still has that skill. He can turn up on his day.
What I'm asking you is how hasn't he had a good season?
No, I was talking about last season. Not last season, just the year in general.
What, De Bruyne?
He's had a good year, but
I think he's been top 5 best players in the world.
No, but like compared to his usually I think for the past couple of years he's been like the best attacking midfielder by like not clearly but like by a decent margin. And I'm just saying like I think Bruno's obviously been quite what do you call it on a similar level to him. And I think just this season, like not this season but just like in the year in general. And I guess I'm going from like the second half of last season sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I just think for me, Kevin De Bruyne will, when he's on the ball, he is the most scary person. Wait, let me finish. He's the most. I think he's the most. If I was playing against him, I would be the most scared out of any person in the world about them getting the ball with Kevin De Bruyne. No other player in the world gets the ball, and you think he could do anything with this. Messi
I would
back
chop
in the day.
straight away. I would chop De Bruyne. I would chop him down straight away because I wouldn't want to let him get through. I wouldn't want to let him get a pass away.
Hey, mate, I've seen you play football. Well, best not to speak.
But what I'm trying to say is this team of the year performance based on the whole of 2020, or is it credibility before that as well? Because
2020, just 2020.
Yeah, but if it's performance based, then I don't think De Bruyne makes it for me.
For me, De Bruyne has been, even though statistically Bruno's had a better year, De Bruyne still has more of an impact.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest.
I don't know about that.
To be fair, you can't look at it. You say the impact. Look where Fernandes joined in January. Dragged us up to.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying he's had a huge impact on the team.
But
he's had a huge impact on the team.
What I'm trying to say is, if it's 2021 based and Gundogan does what he does now, are people still going to put De Bruyne in over Gundogan at the end of the year?
No, I'd have them both in.
Gundogan's very unappreciated.
If I have to.
He's a typical underappreciated centre mid. Whatever.
Yeah. He's always been. I think he's been solid, but injuries has obviously kept him back in one perspective, and then I just think going like, attacking and defensively, he's just pretty like just in that sort of middle of the pitch role. He's just really competent in there, I guess. I think he's sort of like a very well-rounded player, in my opinion.
But the thing, so are we sticking to Bruno, Kevin De Bruyne, and Kimmich?
Yeah. Why not? Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that leads us on to the right-hand side, which I feel like there might be some disputing.
Are we just doing attackers, or are we doing wingers and then a striker? Because the team doesn't actually have to play with each other, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, Callum already knows what
attackers.
Three attackers. For me, I'm going Messi right. Well, I mean, yeah, Messi, Lewandowski, Cristiano Ronaldo.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah, that's
I disagree.
I disagree as well.
Go on then.
You
go. I think they're the same, mate.
Are we done the same?
Yeah.
Well, I've had to put the best player in the world in there, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And then Lewandowski as well, just from the year that he had. But then I went with Son.
Fair. I mean, yeah.
But that's the thing.
If you look at the year that Messi, like Mbappe, something like that they had, it wasn't really that impressive. And if you look at the year that Son had, it was unbelievable.
But Messi still had a great year.
Yeah.
Like his numbers were still great last year, but it was bad on Messi's standards, which is still world class and the best in the world.
Like,
he should be the second name in the attackers. I feel like Lewandowski is the sure one, but Messi's second, and then Cristiano Ronaldo maybe third.
Yeah, I'd say similar.
I think Ronaldo's had a better.
Ronaldo's had a better year. But like, if we're talking attackers, like if you're gonna put Son in there. I don't know, like, Son isn't the same player Messi is. I couldn't put Son in there over Messi. And if anyone else, Son is a very good player. Like, he's one of the best in the Prem, and I agree with that totally. But I think if going by the last season, I would put Mane or Salah before Son in that team.
If Spurs went further in Europe, then 100%, you would have to agree with putting Son in there. The fact if Spurs got semis whatever again, then you would have to argue that. But at the end of the day, is at the moment is Son better than Cristiano Ronaldo?
No, obviously.
No, they're saying Son over Messi, which
Son over Messi.
I think it's Messi's reputation which is obviously carrying him as well. I know he's played well last year.
I think it's actually the opposite. I think his reputation is making people think he's more shit than he is at the moment because they're so used to him being insane.
Don't forget, he's in the last stages of his career as well. Son's in his prime, so
yeah. But you say that, Aiden. Ronaldo's older than him. He's still performing at his best.
True.
But Messi's not performing like prime Messi performed. However, Messi is still up.
Yeah, I do. I agree with the fact that he's still like a world-class player and is doing really well. But compared to the standards he set for himself, he's nowhere near where he was.
But I think
that's why I put Son in there, just because he's better than what people like. When you look at Son, you're like, oh yeah, but he's exceeded all expectations.
Son's amazing.
Because Messi has been like the best player. Like in his prime, he was a freak. Like he was out of this world, the best in the world, best ever. Yeah. And because he's not the same numbers, but still putting up insane numbers anyway, you're saying that because he's not as good as prime Messi, this should be not on the list instead of Son.
Yeah, that's what I agree with you, Michael, fully. Like I just think you can't compare a man who's past his prime to his prime to say that he shouldn't be in the team.
Yeah.
You should base it on the actual pretend they're both Tottenham strikers or whatever.
Callum fucking wish
Harry Kane would make it.
I think Harry Kane's had a better 2020 than Son, in my opinion. Other than the injury bit.
What I'm going to say now is that Messi last season scored most of his goals in the first half of the season.
Yeah, but he was still plugging away at the goals. He was still. I think he got. But you've also got goals and assists, didn't he?
You got to take in consideration the start of this season and where Son and Kane were at that point.
Yeah. That's my point though. You're saying Son and Kane. Take Harry Kane out of that Tottenham team.
Yeah.
Is human Son still going to be up there?
I think he's still scoring goals.
To be fair to them, he is in the team, so you got to judge it on more.
Exactly.
But
I'm thinking about it. Take Messi out of the Barcelona team, put him in another team. Will he still be up there?
But you don't know because
Let me look at Harry Kane versus Son.
That's why Ronaldo is one of those players you're always going to have to put in there because
if you look at Messi's record against in the Champions League, like against City, it's a hat trick against one of the best City teams. Like against other teams in Europe, it shows that he can do it on the biggest stage.
The Champions League games are one-off. They're one-off games.
Yeah, but they are. But Messi still performs and gets man of the match performances in those games against the best from that league that they can provide.
Yeah, no.
So they're one-offs. You can't compare them to them because one week they can, like a team like City, for instance, in the league this year, they turn up and then lose to Southampton. Then a week later, they play a team like Man United or someone like that, and they would smash them.
I think you can't deny.
But when you can't compare in the league, you have to talk about his performances against the best teams in the league, the best side that they put out, the side that you try the best from that league. If Messi's scoring hat tricks against the best team that they put out, you've got to put that into consideration that he'd be able to do that in the Premier against these big teams.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Son is.
I've changed my mind.
I believe it's the only way you can judge.
We've convinced Callum. We've converted Messi.
No, you haven't convinced me to Messi. I've turned to Harry Kane instead of Son.
So I said Harry Kane.
Yeah, you did say it. I've gone Kane instead of Son.
Yeah.
I would say if you put Harry Kane in another team, he would still bang in goal. So you can't. You could argue the same thing.
I've just looked at
He works so hard, Kane. He'll get back, help the defense, help the midfield, still bang like what 20 goals.
He's got as many goals and like 10 assists more than Son.
Yeah.
If it was like a 4-2-4, I would obviously If it was a 4-2-4, I would probably like take out De Bruyne and put Kane in as like a striker. But I just think Lewandowski and I think it's out of Lewandowski and Kane, and like if you had to pick one striker, I'd just have to pick Lewandowski. Kane is well past as well, but.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Kane's had a great 2020, but can I just speak Lewandowski? What a year he's had. One of the best individual years I've ever seen from a player, and I think it doesn't get spoken about enough. The fact that he's been top scorer in the Bundesliga, top scorer in the Champions League, won the treble. He's literally done everything this year. Not any people are speaking about it because it's not Messi or Ronaldo, and that is facts. I'm saying he's had one of the best individual calendar years I've ever seen a player have.
Yeah, he would 100% won the Ballon d'Or if it was still running.
Well, hold on. I just want to
see he's the player you'd say by far out of the whole of last year. He was by far the best player in the world. He was best player in the world by a mile last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree. I think he literally just is such a good finisher. And the thing is, like, people say he doesn't get back enough, but he doesn't need to. He's got Kimmich. He had Thiago last year, obviously, but he's got like the likes of Kimmich and Goretzka helping him at the back. They're getting it to him, and he'll just finish whatever you give him. Like, he's great. I think he's just a cut above the rest of the strikers in the world right now. But Harry Kane is very good, and I think Lewandowski. But I just think Lewandowski is
edges. I think you can't deny it. They won the treble as well. They got the trophies.
Not taking anything away from Lewandowski. I know he's done it in the Champions League, but say if he was playing Premier League week in, week out, I reckon he could do it personally. But would he do it?
Yeah.
I reckon he could, but
he's world class.
Fair enough.
In the Champions League.
He's been he's my player of the year, to be fair. So.
Yeah.
Right, who's there for managers?
Yeah.
Managers, I'm going for the obvious. I'm sorry, I'm going for Hansi Flick.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I just think winning the treble, I know he had a great team, but I know that's boring as well because obviously it's the obvious shout, but I mean, I just can't give it to anyone else.
It's what he did in a season. Like, he came in, was it November 2019 he came in or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And he didn't even come in at the start of the season. He came in and inherited a team that, he hadn't spent money on or anything, I know they've still got quality players, but it's a team he had to work around. And he worked around there and he took them to, the title, obviously the treble. And, not many managers can do that. Even the top managers, even though it is Bayern Munich, that's still a feat. Like, that's something that has to be celebrated.
Yeah, I agree. I think that his player management as well. You look at your Sané at City. He was good, but he's much improved at Bayern. You look at Goretzka. He's come on leaps and bounds. Thiago improved loads. Kimmich, Davis, Alaba. He's completely changed up his position. I could go on about their whole team, but Alaba he's completely changed his position to a centre back and made him one of the best centre backs in the world. I think his player management and like the fact that he's winning trophies just makes him the best manager in the world. For me personally. But does anyone think?
I think Nagelsmann, what's it called? He deserves a shout, obviously, just for from where Leipzig have gone. They started out like 11 years ago or so. Back in 2009, 11, 12 years ago, and they now like last season they got to the Champions League semi-final. This season they knocked United out of the Champions League. Like that's a crazy achievement, and obviously he's been there for most of the way.
No, he's an insane manager, and the thing is, he's done some good business with them, and like they've got the money.
Yeah,
but money isn't everything, as we've seen
with
Lampard this year. Money isn't everything. I think he is a great manager. He definitely deserves a shout. Can I just put one? Obviously, I think Flick, but I just want to mention as well Diego Simeone.
That was going to be the manager I was picking.
Oh, sorry. I'll let you have a little.
Yeah.
Say on why.
It's unbelievable. Just like they 1 week they have a bad game, but like if you watch them play, they may lose, but they play like unbelievable.
Yeah,
But it's only like scrappy goals that they concede. It's not as if like they deserve to be like losing and stuff like that. And then it's just the players. Like you look at the players he has playing for him and how well they play. It's like João Felix, stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's another one who I think maybe not so much of a good player management as the likes of Klopp and Flick, but the thing is he gets his team like defensively in the big games, like when you watch them,
he knows how to set them up right.
Yeah, I agree. They actually look so solid in the Champions League when they play the big games, when they play against the likes of, I don't know, like the big games. You just that no one can score against them. Like it's insane to watch. Like,
you know, certain managers, you know, like Madrid managers and stuff. Like Madrid with their managers. I don't know who else, but even not just Mourinho generally. Like a lot of these managers stay at clubs for like 3 years or so, and then you know they win quite a few trophies and they move on. And Simeone sort of gone from like he started at the bottom. He's hit a peak. He's gone down, but he's also come back up again. And not many managers can do that.
I agree. I mean,
you know, like Mourinho, I'll just say quickly. Yeah, Mourinho even at Chelsea, you know, was the first answer. Like you know, he won was it Premier League? Did he win it both times in like both?
Yeah, he won it 2 years in a row.
Yeah, and then like he still got sacked afterwards. Sometimes like his style. I'm not saying he's not the best. Like I'm saying Mourinho obviously will go down the history books. We know he's how good of a manager he is, but like his style fits you know a certain team for a couple years, and sometimes like after a couple years he moves on after that. But Simeone's proved it for you know multiple years, and he's come back from the bottom and he's sort of rebuilt them up again. But yeah.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. I mean, I think Simeone, he's just an amazing. I think he reminds me, if anything, of Mourinho because of how sometimes he sets up. He doesn't care if sometimes it's a bit scrappy, it's a bit boring. They'll get a 1-0 win every now and then. But like he's just such a good tactician for me. I think he's mad. I have a lot of time for Simeone. I'd put him definitely top 3 of this year, alongside maybe you got to put Klopp up there. I think.
Yeah, of course.
But also, I think Aiden, you had a rogue shout.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's the best, but I had Brendan Rodgers there because look at the Leicester team he has at the moment. I think people kind of underestimated him, saying, "Look at the Celtic team he had. Celtic are going to win the league every year, but look where Celtic are without him."
Yeah, I agree.
But
the impact he had on Celtic's clear.
Exactly, and I wouldn't have him as my number 1 best manager in the world, but he's very underappreciated considering this Leicester team that he's. I mean, you could argue the quality was there before, but I feel like Leicester wouldn't be where they are without him. Leicester wouldn't.
You say that they were where they are before he come in,
but like they went like.
I wouldn't agree with that necessarily. I don't think they
were.
I mean,
when you look at the managers they had before, who did they have? Was he Ranieri won the league with them? But again, we can all argue. I mean, that was a massive achievement. But again, was that the best Premier League season as a whole? And we argued last time. We argued last time that Brendan Rodgers' Leicester is a lot better than Claudio Ranieri's Leicester.
I would still argue that as well. I would happily because I think he's got the youngsters in as well. Like, you know, I just think the way the team they play such better football.
He's got Harvey Barnes playing well. He's got obviously James Maddison. He's got an aging Jamie Vardy still banging in goals. There's such a well set up side, and I don't think they've had many embarrassing games this season, Leicester. I think one of them losing 3-0 to West Ham, mate, you could argue that was a bad game for them. But other than that, Leicester have looked solid. And are they going to eat Champions League football? 100%.
Do you think? See, I put them in my. I did a table prediction on my Insta 2-3 weeks. I think it was 3 weeks ago now. And I have them down as 5th, but since then they've literally upped their game so much, and I'm thinking, shit, and maybe I should have put them in the top 4 above United, or even United and Spurs, because
it's so tight. It's so tight.
It's going to be so interesting. I do think City are going to.
Loads of teams have got to play each other still. Don't forget, it's halfway through the season. Everyone's got to play each other again. So, yeah.
I'm just gassed. I'm gonna sit as a neutral. That's the best place to be when the season's like this, as a neutral, sitting back, have my popcorn, have a beer, watch as many Premier League games as I can.
But yeah, Kieran, back to you said about how like Leicester above like United stuff like that. I as much as I really don't want it to happen, I can see it happen just because of the game that just happened against Sheffield. You look at the desire in our team. Not a single person on that pitch wanted to like carry the team and do something special to win the game. They were sort of, we're losing, so.
Pogba had a decent game. I'm a big fan of Pogba.
No, I honestly think no one had a good game that game, really.
The only person who played well was Matic when he went to centre back. Yeah,
exactly. I think that's it. And Donny did all right getting up there, bringing the ball up and stuff. But he's only on the pitch for 10 minutes.
Fernandes and Matic were the two best defenders we had on that pitch.
Yeah, he was coming back, isn't he? So I love Fernandes sometimes. He's so aggressive, isn't he? And sometimes I think yesterday that held his shirt and stuff, and obviously he never like kicks out at anyone, but like he always seems like he's on the edge of it. I think one day he's gonna get sent off.
Anyway, so
the team news has come out for Spurs, and we're playing 2 right backs.
Really?
What Aurier and Tanganga?
No, we're playing Aurier and Doherty in the same team. I don't even know how this works.
Who's playing? Was one of them playing left back?
Who's playing left?
No, Davies is playing left back, I think. I don't know.
Maybe I'm
So
oh my god.
You playing right wing then?
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing so.
It must
Doherty,
be Aurier
probably.
right wing.
No, I'm going Doherty because he likes to.
Are you parking the bus? Are you going to be parking the bus?
Yeah, they're parking the bus, definitely.
You're parking the bus. You're going to take a 1-0 lead and park the bus. It's going to be a Mourinho game. I'm not denying Mourinho is a world-class manager.
I'm not looking forward to watching it, but it's fine.
I really hope Spurs fucking do them over.
Open for a draw, so we can beat Liverpool
Saturday.
Or we can beat Liverpool at the weekend, and then we can go third, hopefully, or whatever. So,
I think it's going to be a cagey one based on the fact that apparently playing 2 right backs. I just think Liverpool will have to go for it though. That's the only thing. They need a win.
They have to win this game, or otherwise
that's what I mean. That's why I'm calling it Mourinho 1-0 masterclass. But
I won't be able to stand it.
Are we going to wrap up there then?
Yeah, I think it's a good point to wrap up.
So yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Let us know what you want to see from the next ones. We're thinking about maybe a best team of the last 30 years, or one signing each club should make, or one each club's most valuable player.
Yeah,
we could do our halfway through the season predictions as well.
Yeah,
that's a shot.
Table prediction.
Yeah.
I'm definitely up for that.
Yeah, Arsenal, West Ham, mid-table.
Yeah. 10-11. No European football.
Cheers, everyone.
All right, cheers, guys.
See you.